Hi everyone, welcome back. Just wanted to share with you some thoughts that I'm having today. I have these thoughts quite often, to be honest. I track the prices of cars, not the second-hand values, but new. I want to understand and appreciate the value of electric cars and also what prices might or might not be coming up. So today I thought I'd share those thoughts with you. And there are two opposing thoughts that are on my mind at the moment. One is the likes of Hyundai with their click-to-buy system, following on from Tesla, where what they're liking is advertise a car, advertise a price, you press click, and you buy it at that price, list price. That's what they like. EV manufacturers are enjoying that at the moment. There's so much demand for the cars that they can actually afford to not discount their cars. So there'll be a lot of manufacturers that are producing electric cars that'll be thinking, how much can we get for our car? They're not really thinking about how little can we sell the car for to sell masses. It's how much can they get for the car. And that's because they can't produce enough of them. It's only when they mass produce the cars and have so many that they're desperate to get rid of the cars, then they discount them. And that's the opposing end. Let's take a look at the Renault Zoe. I had a conversation online recently with somebody talking about the ZE50, and they were expecting the price to be in the low 20,000 range. Well, in my opinion, that's really, really wishful thinking. Because why? Why would Renault sell them so cheaply? Are they that desperate before the cars are even announced and available to buy to sell them that they would discount them massively? Let's get things into perspective. The Renault Zoe ZE40 at the moment is list price 30,000 plus for a reasonable specified car. £30,000. That's the same sort of list price as a Hyundai Kona 39 kilowatt hour. It's the same sort of price as a well specified Nissan Leaf 40 kilowatt hour. Price increases are massively heading towards the 30,000 plus. So although there's pressure for EVs to be cheaper and into the 20,000s and sub £20,000, actually they're going up. What you've got is the e-trons and the I-Pacers and the EQC, all these luxury premium brands, including Tesla, and they're selling for in excess of £50,000. You've got the Model 3, which is fitting lovely between the 40 and 60,000 bracket, which frankly nothing else sits in there at the moment apart from perhaps the Polestar. So they've got that to themselves. Sub 40,000, you've got the eNiro, you've got the Kona. They're the long-range EVs that are very efficient, so they justify that high price. The Nissan Leaf 62 kilowatt hour, they're attempting to put it in at the same price, but frankly, it's not worth the same sort of money, in my opinion. But then you've got the cars that are coming out in mass at the moment, and you've got the E208, the E-Corsa, you've got the Mini that's coming out, the electric Mini. What else have we got? We've got the Renault Zoe ZE50. These are town cars, city cars, and they are coming out, and list prices for the sort of models already have been £30,000. So they're coming out probably with 30,000 plus on their price tag. That's list price. So knock off the 3,500 government grant here in the UK, and you're talking 26.5. So my idea of these city cars is that they'll be priced 25, 26, maybe as high as £27,000 after the UK government grant. Will they give you a discount? I don't think so. See, I think they're hoping to sell them in smaller numbers to start with, and they want to sell them for the list price, as other manufacturers have been doing. So they're not going to want to discount them on day one of announcing a brand new car. So here's my worry. When I looked at buying my Kona 64, I looked at the Renault Zoe and I got a quotation for buying it, and it was which one was it? It was the Dynamique Nav model on the ZE40, and they were quoting me £18,500 to buy that car, cash, brand new. £18,500. I mean, that's a cheap EV now, and this was a year ago. The next demonstrator version of that exact same car now, 1,500 miles, £23,000. So a year ago, Renault were discounting the Renault Zoe ZE40 by £6,000, and then add on top the 3.5 UK government grant, we're talking nearly £10,000 off the list price, or more. So a £30,000 car for sale at £20,000. So the question is, why? Why is there such a huge difference between the list price and what they then could sell the car for? Is it that they were desperate to sell it? Is it that the price is too high in the first place? Which is it? At the moment, we're seeing increased demand. Manufacturers can sell their cars for almost list price or list price. So if you were about to buy a city car, let's say the ZE50, the E208 Peugeot, or the e-Corsa, would you pay list price? Would you pay £26,000 after the UK government grant for that car? On one hand, it looks like good value compared to the Kona and the eNiro. You're getting a 200-mile range car instead of a 300-mile range car, and you're getting quite a lot of features, not a huge amount of features, but it's £10,000 less than those long-range cars. So it's looking like good value. But here's the thing, if Renault in the past could discount their cars by another £6,500, what if these manufacturers, Peugeot, Vauxhall and Renault, which are used to selling mass cars for the fleet market, and because of those mass sales, they are used to massively discounting their cars. What if in 6 months' time they discount their cars by £5,000-6,000? So today you might spend 25, 26 on an E208 or an e-Corsa or a ZE50, and suddenly within 6 months it's lost £5,000-6,000 of value. So is that such a good deal? And here's the issue, isn't it? Can you trust the manufacturers with their price that it will be consistent? Tesla play around with prices all the time, and yet I think their motivation is different. Their motivation, from my opinion, is let's release a car for £60,000 and make you think that's good value, but then shuffle the price around later on and make the same sort of car worth £50,000, so it seems like an absolute bargain, when all along they plan to sell them at £50,000. So the £60,000 to start with is just a headline figure to make you think, oh, it's an expensive premium product. Then they release the actual price later on, and that's when everyone comes in and starts buying the car en masse. So would you want to be that person who bought the car on day one at that high price, only to find out in a few months' time it's suddenly come down by £10,000? And that's what I fear with the Renault, the Peugeot and the Vauxhall, the Corsa, the E208 and the ZE50. I fear that list price will seem like a good buy on day one, but if they don't sell enough and are under pressure to sell more, then that price could come down very, very quickly. So what's good value at the moment? Well, the MG, it seems, because they're doing it differently. They are releasing a brand new car and at the same time discounting it. So they have different reasons for doing it. They're either producing a shed load of these cars and therefore can afford to sell them at that price to start with. So maybe their list price of £30,000, knock off the £3,500 UK grant, you're down to £27,000, and then they're giving you another £3,500 discount for their top of the range car, comes down to £23,500. What if that £23,500 is the price that they're happy to sell them for anyway? What if that £27,000 was the inflated price? We just really don't know. So is £23,500 a bargain? Well, if the E208 and the ZE50 are suddenly discounted for £5,000 and are starting to be sold for £21,000 in a few months' time, then the MG will seem good value for a large, well-specified car, but the E208 and the ZE50 will look very attractive to more people. So what's happening with prices, and what is going to change? What do you think? What do you think about what cars are coming, what prices they are, and will they go up or will they go down? Because we're seeing people are prepared to pay more. The prices for longer range EVs like the eNiro and the Kona are going up. The prices coming out for the new city cars are mid £20,000 here in the UK after the UK grant. But there's going to be pressure at some point for that price to come down. MG's starting the ball rolling already with getting that price down. But will Renault especially go back to discounting their cars when they're not selling as many as they want? Or are they under pressure from emissions that they have to sell so many to meet their quotas? Is that part of the issue with EV prices that's coming? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I would be apprehensive right now of buying an E208, the one that I like best out of the bunch, for list price, because I am not so certain that that price won't reduce when it actually comes out and when it's been on sale for a few months. Anyway, there's my thoughts for the day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go on, click subscribe. It's really good to see you do that. And again, until next time, see you again soon. Bye-bye.